As families prepare to sit down to Thanksgiving meals today, 21 seats will be empty at tables in Uvalde, 6 months to the day of the shooting at Robb Elementary School.
And as our Stefania Jimenez reports, that loss was certainly felt yesterday as the annual Love Ya Uvalde lunch went on without one of its longtime volunteers.
To be able to say, hey, we're back 2 years later after, COVID-19 and everything like that, it means the world for, to see the community come out.
After 2 years of only doing home deliveries, the annual Love Ya Uvalde luncheon returned in person for its 39th year. What started as a tradition to feed the elderly now provides free meals to the entire community. It fully relies on volunteers. For 9-year-old Jackie Cáceres, it was a can't-miss event.
She would serve, she would usher people to their seats and stuff like that. She was all over the place, she did a lot.
Jackie was one of the 21 victims killed at Robb Elementary 6 months ago. In light of the shooting, this year's event was almost canceled, but Jackie's family decided to carry on in her honor.
We're like, we can't stop doing this. There's something that she wanted us, to keep on doing, so here we are.
But even with the luncheon's success, Jackie's absence was felt.
It's emotional. She'd be up and down this place. I think she's a boss man, boss lady.
And KSAT continues to share the stories of the Robb Elementary victims. Next week, we'll look back at the last 6 months. Join us for 21 Taken, Uvalde's Path to Healing. That airs next Friday, December 2nd at 7 o'clock, right here on KSAT 12.
Let's look at the roads with TransGuide. Kind of foggy out there. Looking over at Loop 410 at Starcrest. And Mark, you said you saw 2 lanes blocked over at 151?
And Loop 410. Yeah, that's the only collision reported right now. Traffic is very light around the city. Well, experts have warned it could be the deadliest Thanksgiving on the road since 2007.
ABC's Andrew Dimbert tells us what makes this year so different.
This morning, Americans are still packing airports and roads across the country as families rush to make it home in time for Thanksgiving dinner. With nearly 49 million expected to drive, traffic slowed to a crawl in Philadelphia, Chicago, and Los Angeles.
Oh man, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be pretty hectic.
And while gas prices are falling, AAA says the national average of $3.63 a gallon is still the most expensive Thanksgiving week average on record.
I just make it work. What else can we do? You have to travel. You have to get from point A to point B.
Airports are also jam-packed as air travel is expected to reach near pre-pandemic levels. Overnight, Cleveland's airport was briefly locked down and flights delayed after a man drove through an airfield gate.
It's so busy. It is. We've never experienced this before.
We don't usually fly before Thanksgiving for this reason. We usually stay local, but we decided to fly, and it's nuts.
American, United, and Delta expecting to serve a combined 18 million customers this holiday. Despite the high number of travelers and busy airports, less than 100 flights were canceled on Wednesday. And air passengers are not the only ones taking to the skies. In New York, despite the NYPD reporting there have been no credible threats made on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade, in light of recent shootings and attacks on parades in Illinois and Wisconsin, security will be tight.
The Counterterrorism Bureau will deploy additional resources to ensure the festivities across the city are safe for all.
Police departments in other cities say they are also activating additional resources to protect their holiday events. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Other news this morning, although former Vice President Mike Pence won't talk to the January 6th committee, he may participate in the criminal probe from the U.S. Justice Department. Sources say Pence's team has indicated the former VP is open to discussing an agreement for testimony with Justice. DOJ's request for the former vice president's testimony under oath came before the appointment of special counsel Jack Smith. It's unclear how the existence of the new special counsel might impact the negotiations between the DOJ and Pence's team.
Some researchers are sounding the alarm about measles. A new study shows fewer people are getting vaccinated against the disease. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says vaccination rates around the world had improved since the start of the century, but the pandemic set back efforts to wipe out measles. Global coverage rose to 86% in 2019, but over the past 2 years, the vaccination rate has slipped to 81%, its lowest level since 2008. Researchers say nearly 25 million infants did not receive their first dose of the vaccine last year.